Shri Asaduddin Owaisi.
I stand to oppose the motion moved over here. So the Honorable Prime Minister talked about Ek Bharat, Shesh Bharat. He said in London that in my India, Imran lives. The Prime Minister during a book launch in his house said that in Quran the word knowledge has been mentioned 800 times to specify the importance of knowledge in Islam. In 2014, in this August House, the Prime Minister during his first maiden speech said that many Muslim boys work in a cycle shop repairing puncture of cycles. Now if you juxtapose these statements with what his government has done by stating that this government cannot be seen to establishing a minority university, which is completely obnoxious. Why? Because a government is always in continuous form. I am talking in relation to Aligarh Muslim University. Sir, what was implicit in 1920 was made explicit in 1981. And this government has forgotten the Jansangh stand. The Jansangh stand was for Aligarh Muslim University to be given minority status when Mr. Vajpayee was part of the government. Because the government could not complete its tenure, in 81 an act was brought wherein AMU was given a minority status. My question to the government is, if you cannot by law create a minority university, how can you create a minority university under law under section 3 of UGC? I mean, the whole world knows that the Muslims had given land. At that time, sir, nearly 30 crores was collected. In today's value, it is more than 600 crores. So, I would request you to the government, please understand the ramifications. You are entering into an abyss, which will create a huge legal problem. A government of the day would fight for the legislation passed by this August House. You do not disown a legislation passed by this August House. And opposite is being happened. Same is happening with Jamia Millia Islamia, sir. Article 30 is a fundamental right. Any government brings in a legislation to further the interest and intention of Article 30. Jamia Millia was founded by Muslims. It is known in the history. Sir, Article 15.5, Article 13.2, Central Education Institution Act 2006, and the National Commission for Minority Education clearly states that Jamia Millia is a minority institute. And in both these universities, there is no reservation for Muslims. In fact, 30% of students in Aligarh belong to non-Muslim community. I want to know, why are you after these two universities? What is wrong with this government? As it is, out of 100, only 3 Muslim boys become graduate. Why do you want to isolate Muslims? Why do you want to separate Muslims? Where is your Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas? Your policies are completely contrary to what you are doing on the ground. Sir, don't you want the Muslims to become doctors? Don't you want the Muslim girls to become scientists? Why are you stopping my progress? There's a mention in present debate about demand scholarship. My proposal to the government is, make these scholarships demand driven. We want to study. We want to become pioneers. We want to strengthen this nation. We want to realize the dream of equality, fraternity, liberty. That can only happen if scholarships are made demand-driven for minorities, for OBCs, and for Dalit community. Sir, my third point is, Mr. Venkaiah Naidu has been made a chairman of a committee to look into reservation for Jats, under 27%. Where is your Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas? Where is the empirical data of backwardness of Jats? I have nothing against them, please give it to them. But there is an empirical data of my socio-educational backwardness. Will Mr. Venkaiah Naidu and his government stand up and support the 4.5 reservation given to minorities? Will Modi government give reservation to Muslims of Maharashtra? Bombay High Court have given. You are awarding violence. You are giving to those people who have indulged in killings. Is this what you stand for? Where is your support and talk about rule of law? The third point which I want to bring to your notice, sir, is about the important issue of J&K. Where is the government in J&K? A sensitive state. Alienation has increased so much that terrorists are firing at us and people are throwing stone at our security forces. What is wrong with this government? Where is that governance which they talked about during election campaign? You have no governance or iota of governance in Jammu Kashmir, sir. Oil prices, sir. Where is that benefit? Why isn't that benefit being passed on to the general public? Oil barrel is now less than $30. Why cannot I get the benefit? Why are you stopping that benefit being given to me? Sir, you come from Karnataka, sir. You come from Karnataka. Sir, I would request to you. I would request you also, sir. If an MP from Karnataka says, which from ruling party has said, that as long as Islam remains, there will be terrorism in the world. Sir, I'm a proud Muslim and a proud Indian. But how can you say my religion connection to terrorism? The Prime Minister is going to address a Sufi conference on 16th of March. If that is the case, why should the Prime Minister go and address a Muslim conference? If an MP of BJP says that as long as Islam exists, there will be cause of terrorism. Sir, I request to you, to the government, to the wisdom of this government, that your MOS says that we'll show the strength of the majority community to Muslims. What is wrong? How can you show strength? You have taken oath on the Indian Constitution. Sir, may I know from the government that how is it that such statements are being emanated? If the Prime Minister agrees or disagrees, then he should sack that minister. He should sack his MP, that who stands up and says that Bhatkal is a center of terrorism. No, the Muslims of Bhatkal are proud Indians as you and me. There might be some elements which should be dealt with strictly, but to say Islam in Bhatkal is completely wrong. Sir, let me bring to your notice the statement made by the Additional Secretary of Minorities Ministry. During a closing of a function, he said, अभी कुछ हालात ऐसे हैं जो लोगों को सोने नहीं देते, हमें अब नींद भी नहीं आती. Sir, this is what an Additional Secretary of Ministry of Minority Affairs has said. I salute that Additional Secretary. He's a proud secular Hindu. And by his stating that words, he has shown to this government that, look, I'm concluding, sir. And lastly, sir, I want to congratulate the Prime Minister for working for 18 hours. This is what the Honorable Minister for Food Processing said. But what has been the outcome of those 18 hours? The outcome of these 18 hours is soldiers are dying at borders. The outcome of that working of 18 hours is that a common man is still suffering. But yes, there is a positive outcome the positive outcome for the Prime Minister is growth of Hindutva, violence on Dalits, atrocities on minorities. That is why I request to you, to the government, that please, if you stand for India first, if you stand for a constitution, give minority character certificate to AMU, support the legislation which was passed in August House. These are only 2 universities. Give scholarships to Muslims and make it demand driven, and stop your ministers, stop your MPs from creating further polarization. Thank you, sir.